everybody, it's Doreen, and I'm back from my long break. And of course I had to come up with the new sign for the new year. So this is the sign that I've made, and I used vinyl and cut this out with my silhouette. And also I use a silhouette to cut out my little lady right here. So what are we going to be doing for our first video of the year? Well, I'm going to be showing you how to make a card. And this is a special card for a special little girl. It is my good friend Skylar's granddaughter's birthday, and her name is Logan. And Logan happens to share the same birthday as my husband. So, of course, we're going to be using our silhouette. And what does our card look like for today? This is the card that we will be making. And it is an Easel card. So it sits up like this. So I'm going to just turn it this way so you can see it, how it sits up. And I've just gone ahead and spelled out happy birthday, Logan, cutting that out with the silhouette. So come on and join me, and I'm going to show you how I made this card.
Okay everybody, so let's first go ahead and put our card on our mat. So now this is a studio file, so you don't have to worry about if you don't have the designer edition. And the basic card itself, or the Easel card, is a Snapdragon snippet file, and it is called Basic Folding Easel Card, and I will put a link to the item number in the description bar. So we're just going to go ahead and click on this and open it up, and as you can see, it's going to open it up as basically a A2 card, but I wanted to make it a little bigger, so I've gone ahead and done some resizing. So basically I am going to ungroup this to do my resizing. So now let's try that again. Okay, there we are. So now we've got our pieces separated, and this I want to make sure is one piece, which it is. So we're going to go ahead and start with resizing this one first. So I wanted to make mine to be a 5.5 by 5.5 inch card. So what I did was I went ahead and took the card and I changed my measurements by going up to my scale icon, which is right here, and I'm going to change this to 5.5 for the width, and then I'm just going to go ahead and lock my aspect ratio, and then I'm going to click apply. So now I do have my 5.5 and by 5.5 inch width, which is what I wanted. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this one and just make this 5.5, and I'm going to leave the lock aspect ratio on and click apply. So now my card is the width that I want. I was more concerned about the width than the height. So if you look at this and lay this on top, you'll see that it does fit. So let's just move this to the side because this is our card piece. So now what we need to do is go ahead and get the front layer that I want to put on there. Now that is an Lori Whitlock file, and it's actually a card, but we're just only going to use pieces of this, and it is called the A2 bracket shape card. So what we'll do is we'll open that up, and you'll see it looks like this, and like I said, it is a card, but I'm only going to use this top layer piece here. So I want to ungroup this, and we'll just go ahead and get rid of this piece right here, and we'll remove this, and we're going to resize this. So, and the way I did this was I just took this and rotated it 90 degrees so that I could fit it on my square, and then I just kept resizing it. So I'm going to give you the measurement of what size I made the top layer, and that is For the width, 5.415. And then I didn't lock the aspect ratio. I made the aspect ratio for the height to be 4.960. And we'll take this lock aspect, and then I clicked OK. So that's what you're going to have for your, let's change that. It should be 5.415. There we go. So that's what you're going to have for your width and your height. And then that will sit on top of your card like so. We're going to go ahead and talk about the girl on the front of the card. Now this is a Lettering Delights paper piecing, and I'm on their website right now. Now what I found out was the specs that are on the little girl's eyes, I was unable to find that on the website anymore. I don't know if it's been discontinued, or, which I'm imagining it is because I did a search and I can't find it anywhere on the site. But you can go ahead and find an SVG file of some specs, or there might be even one on the Silhouette website. So I won't be able to give you the link to that because there's no longer on the Lettering Delights website. But I will be able to give you the link to the Paper Doll Girl. And actually, these files for Lettering Delight, I guess they also designed for Cricut. So maybe you can use your Cricut and make this same card using the Paper Doll Dress Up cartridge. So the actual body for the girl is, like I said, it's called Glam Girls Paper Dolls Clothing, and it's on the Lettering Delights website, and I will put a link to the file itself. And these glasses that I'm using, I bought those on this website years ago, so that's why it's probably not available anymore. So as you can see, you get all of this. So you get your hair, and you get your different bodies, or your body and the different faces. So you'll have to go ahead and purchase that because this is not a free image. So what I'm going to do is, because I've already purchased it, we're going to go back to the Silhouette web page, and we're going to go back to our mat. So I'm going to move this all over to the side, and we're going to start bringing in our pieces. Now what I like about this is they also give you the PDF file so that you know which one of the images that you'll need to import into the Silhouette Designer Edition in order to cut these out. Now these are SVG files, so you will need the Designer Edition for this portion of this if you're going to make the card. So we want to use the doll itself, but we just want the head. So I'm going to go ahead and open up, and I'm going to do a file merge so it opens up right onto the mat that I have. And I'm going to change this to SVG because it is an SVG file. And I'm going to look for my Glam paper dolls, and we want to open up and pick the dial 1. So now we have our little doll. So what I'm going to do is open up all the pieces, and then we'll do our cutting and maneuvering and so forth. So now we don't want to use this piece or any of these pieces here. So what you can do is go ahead and cut that out and then just cut them off. And the same thing with the body. I just want the head. I don't want the rest of the body. But what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to make this a little bigger so I can see it. And I'm going to hit my zoom window and go up here. And I think I'm also going to change the color of my body, and I'm going to make this a little bigger. So there we go. So now I'm just going to cut this off using the Silhouette because I don't like to waste paper. So I'm going to take my knife tool over here, and I'm going to hold down my shift key, And then I'm going to just get as close to the neck as I can. And then just let that go. And there, I can remove just the body. So the same thing with our hair. I kind of like to make my pieces the color that I'm going to be cutting out the paper. So I want to do the same thing. I want to go in and I want to remove those little tabs. And as I said, if you don't want to do this step, you can just go ahead and just cut them off with your scissors. But I am one for not wasting paper. So I'm going to just cut this off here. And the same thing, I'm going to go ahead and cut. And I don't know, I updated my software for the Silhouette Design Studio, and it seems to have some little things happening that weren't happening before. So I don't know if that's just me or there's something wrong with the update. So now we have our girl here, and as you can see, you're going to line this up like so. Then we need to work on putting in our face pieces. So I decided I don't want to put the cheeks in there. So I'm going to do an ungroup, where you can go ahead and right click here and just click ungroup. And I'm going to remove the cheeks. And I'm just going to use just this piece. So I'm going to group those pieces back together again by right clicking and clicking group. Oops, didn't mean to grab that. I want to grab the whole face, and I'm just going to line it up here. So now, just to make sure I've got this even, and you don't have to do this, this is just for when I'm going to be resizing her, because I don't want it the size that it came in as. I want to make it larger to fit on the front of my card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to center my face with the head. So I'm going to go ahead and choose my align tool and just click align center, just so I can get that in the center. Now what I want to do is I want to bring in my specs. So as I said, those are no longer available on the website. I just was not able to find them at all. I searched for quite a while and I just never found them. So I'm going to merge, and I'm going to look for my, they're called Spectre specs, and you have to make sure you change that to SVG. And the ones I'm using is number 1. Now of course those are way too big, so I want to do some ungrouping and resizing here. I don't want the arms to the specs, so I'm going to get rid of those real quickly here, and I'm just going to use the specs. So now I need these to fit. We're going to first start off fitting them on the face at the size that it is right now. So we'll just make those just a little bit bigger. And there we have it. So now what I've done, or what I did with mine, is I went ahead and grouped all of this together so that I can then resize it to the size that I want. And it ended up being, for the size, I'm going to jump over to my other one because I did separate everything. It is, we're going to go with the width, which is 4.515. So we'll take that and we'll come over here and we'll make the width 4. Well, I forgot what I said that was. 4.515. So we'll come over here and make this 4.515, and we'll lock our aspect ratio, and then there you have it. So now I have the girl the size that I want to fit on the front of the card. So I know that was a lot of work to go through, and it's going to take you some time to figure out and adjusting and cutting and so forth. But what I want you to do is go ahead and lay this out on your mat, and then meet me back at the table and we will put this together.
Okay, everybody, so now that I've shown you how to lay out the card on your mat, we're going to go ahead and put our card together. Now this is a quick and simple card to put together, so let's bring up our supplies. So the first thing I did was I took my piece that is going to be on top of the easel, which looks like this, and I went ahead and ran it through my Cuttlebug folder, and this is the swirl folder. Now, of course, it's not wide enough to run the whole thing through, so I had to do it piecemeal, but that's okay if it doesn't line up all the way, because you're going to go ahead and put your top layer on here like so. So let's get some tape on our top layer. And let me grab my tape gun real quick, and we're just going to get some tape on here using our ATG gun. And as I said, this is a really simple and quick card. And of course, Miss Logan likes purple just like me, so we're going to make this card purple for her. So let's see, I've got enough tape on there, so let's go ahead and we're going to put this on our little square here. So I'm just going to kind of line this up and get this on here. Now this paper pack is a paper pack that is by Recollections, and it looks like this, and I apologize for this glare when I bring it up, but this is the paper pack, and it has all these different colors in there. And I picked that up at Michael's because Recollections is Michael's brand. So there is our top layer. So now what I'm going to do before we add the top portion of our easel to the rest of our easel card, I'm going to go ahead and put our little girl on. And so I've gone ahead and already put her together, so you didn't have to see me piece this together. And I've got my little glasses on there, and then her eyes. And what I did was I just took a Uniball pen, the white one, and put that in the center for the little pupil there. And then for the lips, I took my Specker pen and just ran it across the lip. So I'm going to bring this up to the camera so you can see it. So that's what she looks like. And then we have our little pom-pom ponytails for her hair. So I've gone ahead and glued that together, and that would be our face on the back there, and with the ears, and I just put the glasses across there at the top. So we're going to put this here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this up on here. So let me go ahead and get some foam tape or foam squares on here, and then we're going to add this to our top portion of our easel so we can put that together. So I'm just going to grab some squares here and put them on the back of here because I want her to pop up. So I'm just going to add them sporadically all over so she sits up. And I think we've got enough here. I'll put one more across there. And then we're going to add these. We'll take our backing off, and then we can add her to the card. So once you actually lay it out and you piece it together, and if you don't like paper piecing, this one is really simple and easy, so you shouldn't have any problems putting this together. It's not that many pieces that you have to piece together. So we've got our tape backing off, and I'm just going to pull this to me for just a second so I can get her lined up in the center here where I want her. So there she is sitting up. So now we're going to add some more embellishments on here, but before we do that, we're just going to go ahead and add this so we can form our easel. Now I've gone ahead and taken some score tape and put it along here because I really want this to stick. And for my inside, I've already scored along the score marks, and then what you're going to do is these are laying flat. When you take this off your mat, you're just going to pop those up, because that's going to be your stoppage for your easel. And then I've gone ahead and glued in the letters for my happy birthday, Logan. Now, one thing I want to point out is I didn't weld these letters together when I laid this on the mat, so I had to actually individually glue these down. I make a recommendation that you go ahead and you weld those together so that when you put it on the card, you don't have to put each letter down and try to get them lined up. And because I don't like to measure, I lined it up the best that I could. Now, it may be hard to read it on the camera because of the cardstock that I use, but when you look at it in person, you can tell that it does say Happy Birthday, Logan. So the next thing we want to do is I'm going to just lay this flat and line it up, and then this will be our easel portion, like so, and it'll sit up like that. So let's go ahead and pull our tape backing off of the score tape, and then we're going to lay it flat and put our top layer on top. So I'm just going to lay this down flat like so, and I'm going to line this up. Now remember, you don't want to put any tape up here. You just want to put it on that tab portion right there. So I'm going to line it up on the end and along my edges here, like so, and then I'm going to press down so that when I fold it back, it sits like so. So that's basically your easel card. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get my embellishments on there, and I'm going to come back with the finished card and my envelope. Okay, everybody, so I am back with the finished card. So this is what it looks like. So what I've done is I've taken some ribbon and made some hair bows and put up here at the top of the little ponytails, and then of course I had to put the little bling inside the ribbon, and then I've added some bling here along the edges here, and then for the final bling I've added right here to make it look like earrings. So when she looks at it or opens it, she can sit it like this wherever she likes. So now I've also gone ahead and make an envelope, and this is my envelope. I use my We Are Memory Keeper envelope punch board, and then I also added the Happy Birthday Logan on the envelope, and then I've gone ahead and added a Cherry Lynn butterfly up here at the top. And once again, if you're going to put a greeting or a sentiment on the outside of an envelope, with this I should have welded it, and I didn't, so I had to glue these on separately. So I recommend that if you're going to do that, make sure you weld them together. So that's it, everybody. This is the finished easel card that I've made for Logan. Happy birthday, Logan. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.